Well, winter is just losing its grip in Europe. Ibiza is already enjoying cloudless days, warm evenings, and it's the start of the holiday season. It's also the start of the marathon season, and where better to put the winter training to test? The azure seas, the perfect temperatures from sunrise to sunset, scenery that has to be seen to be believed, and there's so much space. For many runners, this is paradise. Well, welcome to the Ibiza Marathon for 2023. Well, a lot of familiar faces have been working around the clock to get this event prepared, welcoming the elite athletes, thousands of international runners, and all the families and supporters that have had no hesitation signing up for this event. Many come for a week. Not so many fly in the day before the race. The elite athletes, well looked after, as always.
Sexta edición, consolidando
Well,
la
Francisco
carrera,
Larre is the race director, and he's looking relaxed, which is always a good sign. He says this is the 6th edition. We're really consolidating the event, increasing the number of runners from all over the world. And as you know, Ibiza, very, very popular. It's a sought-after destination, especially now that the season is starting in April. So let's say it's a reference point, a significant part of the tourist season and a significant part of the sporting season. We're expecting more than 8,000 visitors to the island. 3 distances to race: the marathon, of course, the 22K and the 12-kilometre distance, which is hugely popular. Well, it's a new season, new kit, new running shoes. Amongst the elite, we've got William Chebois. Alex Lagat is there as well. Monica Charuto also, those 3 all running the marathon. Chebois aiming high this year, and certainly the favourite among the men's field.
So I'm expecting tomorrow to break this course record of Ibiza Marathon, which was last year was 2:14. So at God's willing, I will lower that time in 2 hours 13:50. So that is my expectation for tomorrow's Ibiza Marathon.
And that's not far off his PB, so it's going to have to be perfect conditions if he's going to achieve that. Well, the registration, always a big part of any marathon, getting the race numbers, the food vouchers, the goodie bags, and of course buying those last-minute essentials. Plenty of locals, good contingent of Spaniards, but a really impressive number of international runners, and a staggering 44-45% of the field are female. And that's something that the organisers have been working on.
We are from Poland. We are here because we heard that it's an amazing marathon, so we would like to experience to run in Spain.
Right now in Poland is a winter, and we're expecting a great weather, and we already have. The second thing, we expect beautiful landscapes during the marathon, half marathon, and third, have a good time.
I think it's brilliant. I think it's such a community thing, running a race. It brings everybody together. I think it's fantastic. So I love the island. I've been here for 10 years. I call it home now. It's such a beautiful place with a really nice community, and that's what I love the most. The community is incredible. The people are welcoming and warm. It's my favourite place to be.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah. The weather's amazing. We've done Stockholm and Paris before, and yeah, it just seemed like it's really different. It's hilly, so it's a bit of a challenge. And yeah, the bay finish looks amazing. Yeah, can't wait. Really excited.
Why Ibiza? Because weather is better than in Belgium. I chose Ibiza because I became 50 this year. Yeah.
And that's the reason why we are here.
Yeah. And at 50, birthday. Life starts.
Yeah.
And we go to party and we go to run.
First run and then party.
Well, not a bad word to be heard, and everyone expecting a good time as well as a tough time out on the race course. The briefing's so important, with 3 events all starting in different places, all trying to finish as the sun sets across the bay. The elites and the influencers, all being given a good explanation as to how it's going to work.
Pues mira, vengo con muchas ganas porque a pesar del año pasado haber vivido parte de la
This is
carrera
Erika
que vamos a
Sanchez
hacer
saying
mañana,
she's really
tengo
looking
muchas
forward
ganas
to it.
porque
Only
volver a Ibiza es
managed
como
a bit of the
empezar la
course
temporada,
last
¿no? El
year,
buen
but
tiempo,
despite that, she's happy to be back. She
iniciar.
loves running
A mí
in the
me gusta
warm
mucho correr
weather.
con calorcito, entonces siempre que vengo a Ibiza es como que
She
viene
says
el
with the
sol, el buen
sun, the
tiempo,
sea,
las
the
carreras así
good
como
weather,
más
the
cortas,
race
y
just
sobre
seems
todo
that
venir a
much
Ibiza es
shorter.
sinónimo de estar en carreras donde hay muchísimas mujeres que para
And
mí,
she loves the
para
fact that there are
mujer,
so
que
many
yo
women
llevo
running
bandero desde
this
hace
year.
años,
That's a project that she's
es muy
supported over the
importante que
years,
cada vez seamos más
and
mujeres en las carreras.
she wants more and more women to be involved as the years go on. Well, there's been a running masterclass, there's been meditation and plenty of yoga in preparation for the big day.
I'm really looking forward to it. Like, all the races in Spain have been the best races I've ever done, so I'm really looking to just like running really fast. I know I'm doing the 22K, so I know it's a little bit downhill, so I'm really looking forward to just speeding downhill and then just seeing the sea, enjoying the golden hour, the sunset, and hopefully also jumping into the water. But I haven't checked how cold it is, so I don't know. But just to enjoy, just to see the people, just to be with the running community, I'm sure it will be amazing.
Unlike many marathons, it's a 3 p.m. start for the big race, and it's all about ensuring that the majority of the field come into the finish area as the sun sets. It's an ambitious plan, but it's one that so many runners are looking forward to, the golden hour as they call it.
Guarda, è la prima volta che vengo qui a Ibiza e l'isola è stupenda,
Cosimo
veramente stupenda.
Pototto saying it's his first time here, didn't really expect the sea and the scenery to have such a massive effect on him. He's been imagining the sunset, the finish line, the party afterwards. He says, absolutely beautiful, special occasion.
Bueno, la verdad es que ya estamos con los pelos de punta porque tenemos mucha ilusión.
This is Paula and Patricia,
aquí justo a un reto juntero,
two runners really enjoying the atmosphere here in Ibiza.
Ilusión de estos meses. Y bueno, traemos casi 25 mujeres para hacer ese reto
the
de
build up
mejor de principio a fin,
to the event, and of course again two more runners enjoying the fact that almost half the field is female.
Estoy muy emocionado con la carrera.
Carlos Diaz is not taking part in the marathon. He's doing the 22K, which is a very fast course, predominantly downhill. Says he's really excited. He thinks there's going to be a good party afterwards, but he's looking forward to the race, knowing that it's going to be a tight one. Well, up front, we know it's going to get serious. PBs, records, jewels, some of them going for the prize money. Ultimately, everyone races their own race. Whatever your goal, the organisers want everyone to immerse themselves in the occasion. They start and finish at sea level. The high point comes just after the halfway marker.
Para mí personalmente esta carrera supone, como bien dice el
Javier
eslogan de corre
saying
siente, pues correr una
for
carrera
him personally,
diferente a
the
las que-
slogan "Run
a
and
las que
Feel,"
la
which is
gente
the race
no está
slogan,
habitualmente,
says that this is different to most
que viene a
races.
correr, ¿no? Entonces,
He
para mí
says
es algo
it's
diferente,
something
una
really
experiencia
unique.
única.
Y eso es en lo que estamos ahora mismo focalizados todos, en que sea una buena temporada turística, en que las competiciones deportivas nos acaben posicionando como un destino
Noni Costa
turístico.
saying what they're really focused on at the moment is the tourist season, and realizing that sporting events are a major part of tourism nowadays. It's not just about parties on Ibiza, and he thinks that the marathon here is a really good showcase. Well, it's not long before the elite athletes start to pull clear. The Kenyans, as ever, dominating the pace up front. William Chebois looking good, going for that 2:13.50.
sono preparato molto bene a casa mia
Monica
in
Ceruto
Italia.
leading the
Ci
women's
sono delle
events, running
salite,
alongside Massi
non sono
Milano.
sicuramente così dure come
And
quelle
he's been preparing at home, a
Ibiza,
50-year-old who can
però
still run
cercherò
sub
di
230.
gestire al meglio
Says there are
le
some
mie
climbs,
forze, sapendo che
definitely
comunque corso 45
harder here than they are
per
where he
8
trains
anni
at home,
di
but
fila,
he's
7 anni
going to
di
manage
fila
his
sotto le
strength.
2 ore 30, quindi penso di poter far bene.
And he's run some 45 marathons over the last 8 years. And he's put in a fair few under that 2-hour 30 mark, which is really impressive. Well, there's music en route, as is standard with so many marathons nowadays, traditional dancers. The views are absolutely stunning. There's plenty to distract the runners from any of the suffering that they're going through. So the marathon run is well underway. Next to start, the 22K. Now that starts at the high point of the marathon, finishes down at sea level, so predominantly downhill. And Dani Matteo is one of the big stars in this event. An Olympic runner. He's a big fan of the run and feel slogan as well. He's been giving talks on how to run fast, but really focusing on how to get people to enjoy their running. And he's delighted to be back for another year, and he's going to have a very, very big battle with Carlos Diaz, who's one of the best runners Chile has ever produced. Diaz with the Chilean records over 1,500 all the way up to the 21K mark. So he's looking forward to taking on Matteo again. Matteo got the better of him in the Seville Marathon, doing a 2:10.26. I think that's out of reach today. But for 22K, they're going to be looking at around the 1 hour 10 mark.
Va a estar bastante entretenido. Creo que tenemos una competencia, creo que la más fuerte con Dani Matteo, que viene de hacer un tiempo espectacular en Sevilla.
It's going to be entertaining. Well, that's one way to put it. He says he thinks he has strong competition. He thinks Dani Matteo may just have the advantage after a brilliant run in Seville. But Seville was his debut marathon, so he's now looking forward to coming back down to a distance that he's more familiar with. We'll see how that turns out. And with the 22K started, back to the port area for the start of the 12-kilometer race. For many, the perfect distance to get their running season underway. Alyssa Malili was the winner last year, and she's back again.
El año pasado no me esperaba, sinceramente, de ganar. La disfruté muchísimo.
Says last year she didn't expect to win. She really enjoyed it. This year, it's a little bit of a change. She's going to try the 12K, see what happens. Doesn't have any objectives at the moment, but she knows that once she puts the race number on, she becomes a different beast. So she's going to go all out, and that will be certainly a race to watch, with Fedra Luna in there as well.
La primera vez acá en Ibiza me dijeron que el recorrido es un poquito bastante durito, así que principalmente disfrutar, ir viendo a medida que voy corriendo cómo se va presentando el recorrido.
She's been told that the course is
creo que lo más
tough,
importante es disfrutar y
so
obviamente si sale el récord de circuito.
She's going to be conserving some energy in the early stages. And she says if she gets the course record, fantastic. Well, that's her ambition for the day. Well, as with the previous 5 editions of the Ibiza Marathon, inclusion has been one of the main messages. The kids' races, the special needs races, it's not just a sideshow. This is a part of the race, a part of the weekend that Larry and his team genuinely get involved with. And he knows that these are the runners that will get more out of the event than anyone else. Nice touch with every single athlete wearing number 1. The same with the kids race. Much more about just taking part. Completing the course is important, but not as important as being on the start line. Ferratore is saying she's delighted 3,200 athletes registered to run this weekend. 45%, as we've said, are women. And realizing that running is a family affair. 500 children involved in the kids race. Well, William Chebois been setting a stiff pace. He was on track for that 2:15 early on, but the latter part of the course, I think, getting the better of the 34-year-old. Been training in E10 in Kenya. He ran a very, very good marathon there, a 2:13.50. But with no one to pace him today, many would say he has no chance of getting down to that sort of a marker.
El maratón pasa por unos paisajes maravillosos, con toda la gente que habrá animando, los grupos de animación, todo eso pues lo hará mucho
this
más
is a really marvelous event.
Sobre todo más llevadero para el corredor, con los grupos de
He's heard all about the marathon course, how tough it is, and he's well aware that the conditions will determine exactly how well he can do. There is quite a breeze blowing, and that's certainly having an effect on the times of many of the runners. Well, Francisco Larry has done another fabulous job with the event this year, and he may be a little bit surprised that Chebois struggling in the closing stages of his run. Beautifully fluent runner. So many of the Kenyan runners from the Kalenjin tribe, where they have, well, very, very lightweight, thin calves, thin ankles, the perfect pendulums for setting the pace they do.
La parte de participación femenina, como hablábamos, ha sido uno de los ejes que hemos querido trabajar este año. Es la prueba con más participación
Larry
femenina
commenting on the
en cuanto a porcentaje,
number of women competing, saying that's something that they've been working on particularly this year, and he's delighted to say that no other race in Spain has achieved the levels of participation that they have this year, and he thanks the many influences that they used in previous years to promote this event. But it's not too difficult to sell a week in Ibiza. Chebois going through Escanar. There's another big climb. Next 2.5 kilometers is uphill, and that's certainly putting pay to any chances of reaching sub 2:14. Sharuto, well, she runs the marathon at pretty much the same pace as she runs the half marathon.
Bueno, es la tercera vez ya que corro maratón de Ibiza, un circuito que me gusta, que le tengo cariño. Ahora hace ya unos años que no venía, así que
says this is the third time that he's run here in Ibiza. It's a circuit he really likes, very fond of it. It's been a few years since he's been back, but he's looking forward to running, and he'd encourage everyone to come and run the Ibiza Marathon just because it's different from other marathons. He says here you come to disconnect and enjoy a weekend on the island. Sharuto on her own for 99% of the race. Struggling a little bit in the closing stages. The battle between Dani Matteo.
Penso che la maratona di Ibiza sia un'esperienza unica. Una delle poche maratone dove
is a really unique experience.
Sole, piacere, divertimento.
One of the few marathons where you can find tourism, sun, pleasure, fun all at the same time.
Abbiamo visto prima la conferenza Dani Matteo che ci spiegava
and he thinks it's a
come
perfect
correre
location
velocemente,
for
ma anche come
the Italian runners to
credo che sia una
take part in the
soluzione
early part of their
per
running
tutti i
season.
podisti amatori italiani ma anche internazionali.
Carlos Diaz starting to struggle as Dani Matteo turns up the pace. Matteo has the Spanish hour record, an astonishing 20.5 kilometers in the hour. Even more astonishing that Kipchoge did that twice to break the 2-hour mark in the marathon in Vienna. Many know that's just a dream. Doesn't matter what the distance, always a pleasure to approach the finish, and Santa Eulalia
Pues mira, yo creo que
Erica Sanchez
Ibiza, Run and Feel, esta
so she
carrera
loves the
es
optimism
optimismo y
of
vitalidad,
everyone
y creo
here,
que
the
se hace
vitality,
también con la luz
and
que
just
hay
feels that
en
the
Ibiza,
light
y yo
plays
soy
such a
muy
huge
de
part
sol, de luz,
in this
de
race.
entrenar con el calorcito, como digo, y todo eso fluye
And that's
en las carreras de Ibiza, y
because
creo que hay
unlike
que
so many
vivirlo para
marathons, it's
también
run
descubrir
late
la
in the
isla de otra
afternoon.
manera. Al final es deporte, pero también es turismo y es una manera de desconectar y de disfrutar de
Nothing better than
dos
training
pasiones. Yo
and
creo que a todo el mundo
running
le
in the
gusta
warmth.
disfrutar del deporte cuando corremos y también disfrutar
And it's a
del relax
fantastic
y
way
de
to discover
la isla nos
an island. So don't just go for the race, go for the whole experience. Well, it's not long before Chebois is into the town of Santa Eulalia and approaching the finish line. His PB of 2:13.20 long gone. A 2:21.15 indicating just how tough the conditions are today. But another wonderful run from him. Legat in second place. Man who's capable of a 1:04 half marathon, and Massi Milano at 50, notching up another top three, just outside his 2:30 mark, but another brilliant run from the Italian. Shiruto, like many, outside her PB today, but another fantastic solo run from her, a 2:48.08. And she made it look easy. Well, Dani Matteo getting the win in the 22K, a 1:09.41, almost a minute and a half inside his previous record. Carlos Diaz just 4 seconds behind. That was the race of the day. A good race is a close race, and that's the one you remember. And it feels even better when you get the course record, as Matteo did in Ibiza. Guirado winning the men's 12K in 40 minutes 10 seconds, and Fedra Luna, she said she wanted the record, she got it. Unbelievable performance, 42.36, only just outside the top two in the men's event. She would have finished third in that men's event. So another brilliant marathon in Ibiza in 2023, the 6th edition of the event. And it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. The smiles are getting wider from all the athletes.
Ese momento sobre las 7 de la tarde, 7:30, con el sol
Francisco
cayendo,
Larrey, the race director, saying
es algo que emociona a todos los
that moment
corredores.
around
Y los
7 o'clock in the
últimos 3
evening with the
kilómetros
sun
entran por el
falling
paseo
into the
marítimo,
sea is something that
pegado al mar,
excites
con una
not
llegada
just the
mágica,
runners, everyone on the
en
island.
Santa Eulalia,
And the last
a
3 kilometers along the
2-3
promenade,
metros de-
it's a
del agua.
magical finish into
Es
Santa
algo
Eulalia.
único, que no hay nada igual en el mundo y que gracias a eso pues
Once again,
corredores
he says
vienen
we
y
provided
vienen
something
cada vez
unique
más, cada
for the
año, y
runners.
repiten, que para nosotros es lo más importante.
And we hope more and more come year after year. Really, really important for the island. Well, it's been entertaining. There's been plenty of elation, plenty of exhaustion as well. And overall, a huge sense of achievement. The Ibiza Marathon delivering once again in 2023.